Great, thanks.
Just share my screen real quick. Okay. Hopefully my screen should be visible now. So, Lisa, do you want to take it off? Yeah.
The first topic here, I think this was part of a longer list, and we were just trying to collect all the issues and pain points that we have seen for instrumentation. Could be for just the KK repo or KSM or any other subprojects that we have. I think we crossed off a bunch of points from here in the past calls. Uh, I don't really have anything like here for logs or traces. I think we should have had David or maybe Damien to contribute to some of these. So it's fine if we just come back to these points later on, or if like folks here want to express any pain points that they've come across while contributing to the project or using the project that we should be aware of. Happy to just jot that down right now, and then we can have a longer, more elaborate discussion when all the leads are back, I guess. Otherwise, it's fine to just leave this topic here and then we can move on to the next one.
Um, yeah, that sounds good. I don't think folks have any pain points as of now. So we can definitely come back to this once we have more folks from the SIG in the call. Um, okay, this I think that applies to this as well, just to be sure.
Oh, no, this is separate. So this is a proposal by Marek. I think this was already presented in the SIG API machinery meeting last week, the week before. I think he's trying to propose a way to instrument informer and reflector metrics. In the past, whenever we have tried to turn on metrics for these components, there have been memory leaks problems, and it's because of the cardinality issues that result because the way the metrics were being instrumented before for the name label for those metrics, I think we were trying to use something that was like out of bounds for cardinalities. It was generating a huge amount of time series. So this solution is trying to propose that we should have an explicit identifier for everything for informers metric for informers reflectors and like the FIFO queues. And two things to keep in mind here is that if you don't, so basically users consumers of these components will, whenever they initialize any instances of an informer and a reflector, they would need to create the identifier, which will be based on two things. They'll have to provide a name, a string name, and they will have to provide the item type for which that informer or reflector is being created. And the combination of these two will be treated as the name label in the metric. If they don't specify any name, we will drop collecting instrumenting metrics for those. If there is a duplicate name detected, we'll also throw back an error to the user saying that there's already a registered metric for the same name. So it's on to the user that they are using the right name here. I think this is a good step because I know that a lot of people have tried to turn this on, have metrics for informer queues. Seems very useful to have. So I think they probably got green light from API machinery with just a note for the reviewers, for the PRs to just pay attention to the cardinality aspect of these metrics. So what I've done is, these were the past attempts, the one that you have opened right now. I don't know if I've linked to the PR. Oh, I have not. So I started a PR. I was discussing the same thing with Marek. Let me add that PR here. And that PR is just adding a single metric for real FIFO-Q. Still the first attempt of implementing this proposal, so just wanted to share it with the SIG for any reviews and any feedback on both the proposal and the implementation of it.
Yeah, this looks good. I will need to look into this in a bit more detail, but yeah, if
Yeah,
we
yeah, for
could,
sure.
then we can definitely because this is something this trend about adding especially to client Go these metrics.
Yeah, exactly.
There definitely needs to be some sort of standardization for that because there is none, I think, right now. So this is, I think, a good step in that direction where we not only does it limits the cardinality, but it does add some, much, I think, required information to these metrics. And because of these, it would be like more streamlined across different components within client Go, so it makes sense. Yeah. But again, I think we could still use some insights from Damien and David. Um,
Yeah, I'll also tag them on the PR for their feedback.
okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up. Christopher, um, are the same topics?
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, hi, I'm Chris. I'm from the Crossplan community. We created in the Crossplan community a proposal to have something similar to your RSM topic. So we figured out perhaps it's fine if we collaborate together on this project, right? So we give it a try. So we played around with what is in the private repository from Rex, right? I have an own fork at the moment of this. We discussed with the maintainers in Crossplane. It would be great if we can align a little bit on if this repository for RSM is switching to something like Kubernetes SIG organization, that we can starting rely on it and starting collaborate together on this, right? So
Yeah.
at the moment, we added something like the build process, Helm chart that you can run it for our test purpose. And we also figured out that, for example, wildcard support is missing for kinds, which is relatively needed from a lot of cross-plan folks. And that's what they running today with CubeSat metrics. So perhaps it could be a topic which we can add relatively easy on top of it. Yeah, and I wanted to hear a little bit about what is the latest implementation thoughts regarding RSM, because there's a main branch and the full branch with a little bit different implementation. So what's the way to go? What you guys thinking about when we collaborate together? Because at the moment, it's relatively hard to say collaborating when everything is in private repositories, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So first of regarding the wildcard, so there's no I think friction or any disagreement about adding wildcard support. I think I was porting most of what CRS does to RSM, and that probably flew under the radar. Um, Kinds are kind of tricky, I think, because we so there's this thing where if there's multiple versions and the same kind under those versions, so if you try to get a kind, Go will automatically promote it to the latest um, version that exists. So there were some tickets around, I want this particular version, and I want everything that's within that, even when there's a wildcard inversion. But I think yeah, that's just a corner case. But yeah, that's definitely going to be another sim once we have. I think the current blocker on the most part is there's a significant amount of pivot, I would say, a discussion that's happening around, what was there in alpha and what will be there in beta. Because so I could probably show you. So there's this pattern that we have seen. Custom resource. It's probably this. Yeah, so there's multiple resolvers as of now because we are currently relying on DSL. So it was supposed to be just cell, but then we found out that cell wouldn't 100% cover all use cases that CRS did.
Yep.
So I thought, okay, maybe we should have extensible revolvers and allow users to bring their own DSLs and plug it into RSM. But because that would be entry in RSM, that would still end up being majorly, up to the maintainers to kind of
Yep.
housekeep. So, yeah, the extensible thing was kind of in the gray, and we decided to move away because even so, another thing that we kind of weren't sure about, and this is a pattern that we saw in CRS as well, where they were over time, we saw different fields for different requirements. And then between these fields, we saw side effects happening. So we would just, if someone would create a ticket, we would be like, okay, let's create a field and let's allow them to, do what they want. And, this sounds like a reasonable ask. But because CRS is just all written in Scratch, there's no dependencies at all. It's all batteries included. So because of that, it's not at all scalable at this point. It's really hard. So there's only a couple of maintainers that kind of really touch it at this point and go against the, if it's not broken, don't break it, please. But we still break it every now and then. Um, so yeah, we kind of want to move away from that pattern as well, where we introduce fields and then over time we find out that there's, this side effect between them. So if you configure one, it kind of implicitly ends up affecting another field. And because of that, what I proposed was using Starlock. So this was, I was talking to this person from Cappy. Um, Christopher Schlaughter. He's been working on KSM for a while as well, but um, currently, if you use Bazel for any purposes, you would be familiar with this. It's kind of a you know it's kind of a thing where if you use Bazel, then you are familiar with it. Otherwise, it has really restricted use cases. So. Um, Starlark essentially, what we would be doing is that the 95% of use cases would be in a snippet, and then the rest 5% would be over gRPC. And that would be, your plugins, currently it would be, I'm planning it to base it off of HashiCorp's plugin system, but that's another discussion that's waiting to happen. But we are more certain about having, Starlock snippets and doing it the same way Basil does. So it was more or less the same use case. So we are kind of confident with this, and we are because it's a unique use case in this whole ecosystem. So we want to be sure before we move to stable. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. It's kind of uncertain to tackle so many issues at once. I saw your BR, and there's all kinds of operators that exist right now that use JSON path or cell or all types of expressions. But the problem with
Yep.
that is it's really limited, and it's really it's just waiting for that point where the maintainers just give up on stability, or you
Yeah,
just
true.
keep. adding them. Yeah. Sorry, I just
Yeah, yeah, I got this, and that's true. That's limited at on the long run, right? So you need to make sure what's happening on the long
yeah.
run whenever there's something new.
It's just I think it's a trade-off. There's a trade-off to be made here where, with CRS, we were like, okay, you can have your own metrics, you can have your own config, and you can just build exporters out of thin air. But it works until it's a very meager amount of complexity. It's as you get more complex, as you want more freedom, then things start to get weirder in CRS. So that's where we saw a lot of tickets happening, and a lot of feature requests happening. And that's something that we really want to address with RSM, especially just, casting a wide net and everything that goes with it. So, yeah, is there a timeline you're looking for, or because
Yesterday, no.
yeah, sorry,
So
I just want to say, sorry to cut you off there. I just want to say, the internal stakeholders are I think the first the most important stakeholders for the SIG.
yeah,
So we
so
definitely want to make sure that their asks are getting fulfilled first and foremost before we start to see how this integrates into existing enterprise solutions and such. So yeah,
yeah, so from the Crossplane community perspective, we have relatively long-standing issues across all our repositories, core runtime providers, right? Because people want to monitor the things. What we have implemented on our own is like very high level. So let's say we have providers, for example, right? And we say they're healthy or unhealthy, but people really want to break this down, right? They have like multi-tenancy systems running in Kubernetes. So different teams are responsible for different parts, right?
yeah,
And they need something. And for them, kubestat metrics, I mean, you will see there are a lot of open issues regarding kubestat metrics and cross-plane and so on, wildcard support, blah, blah, blah. So for that's the reason why we try to make this proposal on our side, right? To like hopefully fix a lot of the long-standing issues that people get like something they can start monitoring their custom resources, right?
yeah,
And making it as an CR that people have really the freedom. So yeah, I would say there's hope in the crossplane community that we will deliver something, right? And not at the end of the next year, but let's say like Q1, something like this. It was like what we discussed in the community that we have something. And if and let's say if this is some crossplane community side something based on RSM and not 100% finished, right? It's fine. But the long time goal would be then that we like bringing the people back to RSM, right? That we're
yeah,
not like running something like a fork on our side or something like this, right? Because it makes no sense. Because at the end of the day, we're touching like custom resources, right? Nothing to do with crossplane. It's only like because we having a lot of them.
yeah.
Make
And
sense?
sorry, go ahead.
Make sense, or what do you think? So that's like how this was discussed on our side.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would really look bad if, we were unable to deliver on, internal stakeholders' asks as well. So yeah, we definitely want
And
to um keep make sure that crossplane and everyone who's looking to get metrics out of CRs gets them. Sorry, go ahead.
we also open for like helping with this, right? So whenever we can jump in and also doing some implementation stuff, right? So we have time for this. Mhm.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, we could definitely use that. Um yeah, okay. So, what would help at this point, because, RSM, as you have already seen, is moving a bit too fast. um, at this beta stage. So I do have this kind of vague idea about what Crossplane is looking for from the proposal that you raised
Yeah.
there. But if there could be like user stories and such, or if you could maybe comment on the enhancement for RSM, like what Crossplane
Yeah.
is looking for,
Yeah.
or you could just, mention that and I could write that down somewhere, or we could, take it offline, whatever suits.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
If it helps, we can like create this as user stories for the different kind of personas we have in Crossplan, right?
yeah,
Because we have guys they operating it, we have guys they are API builders, and so on and so forth, or only consumers. So we have different personas what they want to do with it, right? If this helps, that's something we can deliver.
that would be wonderful. Yeah, that would be really helpful. Thanks,
Cool.
Christopher.
Yeah. Cool. Then yeah, let's do this, and then let's meet again after I submitted this.
Yeah,
Cool,
sure.
man. Thanks.
Stephen, I see you on the call. I don't see anything on the agenda. Do you want to raise anything?
No, sure. I just wanted to drop in and say hi. I'm new to the SIG. Um, I'm the maintainer for Kubernetes mixin. In fact, Pranchu, I think you have an open PR.
Oh,
So hi.
okay.
Um, yeah, so I'm based at Grafana in the UK. I've been working on Kubernetes monitoring for the last 3 years, and recently I moved to OpenTelemetry eBPF instrumentation. And I think the kind of worlds are kind of overlapping a little bit, so I just thought I'd join and say hi and see if there's anywhere I can get involved.
Yeah, I mean, we are always looking for folks to get involved. So if there's anything, any sub-project or even component base within Kubernetes, traces, metrics, logs, and there's, this whole discussion about events now. So I don't um, think there's anything that we do on APPF right now, but that's definitely something that I could see us doing in the future. So yeah, we do have this kind of encouragement for I mean within the SIG we try to push out enhancement proposals. Sometimes they sound crazy, but um,
Yeah,
sometimes they make sense. So definitely we would be looking forward to any collaboration, or if you're interested within the SIG, that would be amazing as well. So
sure. Yeah, well, I'll stick around. I'll probably attend a few more SIGs and just yeah, keep an eye out for things. And also if there's anything I can help on the Kubernetes mixing side for getting people up to
yeah.
date with latest metrics or whatever, just so you know I'm here.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this to a lot of folks, but I cannot be more thankful because Kubernetes mixins, you probably have seen that XKCD comic, right? Kubernetes, like that small thing
The
that,
thing at the bottom. Yeah,
yeah. And you're the only one that's kind of, I think you and this other, I don't recall his name right now, but yeah, it's just a handful of maintainers there. And we are,
yeah, yeah.
people like me who just open PRs and don't show up much. So yeah, thank you for maintaining that, and I'll definitely take a look at that. Totally flew under the radar. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. It's Povilas, right? He's the one that kind of handed over to me. Is that who
Um,
you mean? Povilas is the other maintainer
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for Mixin, but he put a call out for new maintainers because he couldn't sort of didn't have the time to keep up with the mixing. So I've been taking it on for like the last year or so.
yeah. I think the whole ecosystem is thankful for the work you're doing there. So yeah, thank you so much.
No
And
problem.
yeah, I look forward to more conversations, more seeing you more in the calls and collaborating more. Thank you for joining.
Awesome. Oh yeah, thanks for the welcome.
Yeah. Okay, I think we don't have anything more, so probably end it here. Thank you,
Just
everyone.
one thing,
Uh,
Pranshu, should we just send out a note for cancellation of the meeting for the next week? Because it's Christmas
yeah,
and the week after also maybe for end of year.
yeah, I can do that. Sure.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining. See you all next year. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.